Hey folks, it's Pat here. Welcome to the Midland. Tonight we're going to run our first train. We're going to do a ride along on the log local. And so we're going to take old Betsy here along with 4 flat cars down to the log camp, which is that away over there. Bring her back and then hopefully you get an idea of not just kind of how my railroad works, but get a little bit familiarized with this very first train, because this one, of course, runs basically everything starts with this train. As soon as we get logs, it turns it into lumber, which we take back to our yard over there, and all points beyond that. But this little humble train right here is kind of this not just the start of our railroad, but also kind of like where everything does start. And so let's go ahead and hop in here, and we'll do this outside of the cab to start tonight, and then maybe we'll hop in there after a little bit, but off we go. Here we go. So let's do our bell and whistle. Let's kick off our brakes, reverse or forward. Give me 2, and here we go. Doing pretty good on fuel, water, so not too bad. We'll probably have to go back pretty soon here, but I'm just going to bring you guys along on one trip of this because, oh my gosh, you have to do a lot of these in order to make some money and actually get a different set of cars and locomotives. Now, I've already bought a couple of different cars. I'm tempted to get 4 more of these, but for now, we're just going to make do with what we've got and just kind of tolerate the extra effort on our part to actually grind out some log runs here. But in the meantime, we'll kind of give you a little tour of the line, since I know in those build videos it goes kind of fast. So I decided to come out here, kind of kick out over this little gully here on top of this trestle, just to keep things nice and level. And so this is actually fairly level. I think there's a little upgrade on the trestle, but not much at all. This is flat, or at least mostly flat. And it's, as you can see, it's straight as an arrow, which is exactly how I want it. I want good field of vision on both sides, which is exactly what I have. So we're using Betsy here to shove the cars up the hill, because this will come around a hill here and go up towards the log camp. And then that gives our conductor or engineer dude here, our train man, a good field of vision, but also at the same point in time, it means that we don't have to worry about actually carrying any loads up the hill. And so shoving cars is a little bit harder than dragging cars. And with the physics the way that they are in this game, and the guys who are the devs on this game have done a really good job of actually, I don't know, the trains in this game, they feel like trains, so which is a little bit different than just about any other train game that I've played. With maybe the exception of some of the train simulator ones. But in this one, they're just everything. It kind of feels heavy and responsive, so which is good, especially when you get some of the larger locomotives. So at our switch stand here, let's let the boys know that we're coming in. And so this one here curves around to the cordwood. This one goes exactly where we want to go. And usually, once I cut past the switch, that's when we cut about power by half. And this is a little bit of a grade right here. I think this is a 2.5 right here, and so you do have to kind of get up and over the hill in order to actually come in here. And so you usually cut the power right about there. And here we go. Coming in a little hot. Not too bad though. Not too bad. So I usually center the car right about in the middle of the post right there. So there we go. Brake set. Let's go ahead and hop out here. I usually do this on the second move, but let's go ahead and start dumping some logs on here. Now, this is a little tedious part of the game, but oh man, I kind of like it. Some of the stations are a little bit more challenging than this one in order to get your cars to line up right so that you can load and unload pretty efficiently. But this would be a good thing if you were a multiplayer, but since I'm only running a 4-car train here, I can swing it on my own. So earn a little OT here. So, getting some dock pay, but that's okay. So these logs look heavy as heck, and I don't know if the weights on these cars are actually accurate with the here's your reporting marks. So 20,000 pound load limit. How much is the car? Lightweight is 7,000, so we'll be, what, 27,000 pounds? I don't know, I'm not too terribly familiar with narrow gauge railroading, so this game has taught me a lot about it so far, but especially about running steam trains. I've never run a steam engine before, so it's been kind of fun and challenging figuring out all the things that I'm doing wrong. But then it's nice to see some things in there that are kind of familiar too. And so both of those things are kind of cool. It's kind of cool when you can play a game that you know, you feel a little comfortable in it, but it still teaches you some things as well. And so we've got 2 cars, and so all we have to do is back one here, and then we'll be able to get those other cars. And so let's just go ahead and ease her back. 1 car. Half car. Easy does it. And that'll do. Alright, here we go. Perfect. Let's hop out here and do the bunny hop, the load hop one more time. And get ourselves some revenue here. Now, I actually have been making some money since the last build piece. And been doing a couple other builds, spending all my money on cutting down trees in the meantime. But right now, it's my goal to fill up that log pond. And once we fill up that log pond, we're going to run the lumber local. So this is the log local, which eventually I'm going to combine into 2 train, these 2 trains into 1. Yeah, but I want another engine before I do that. I want the upgraded porter. So this is the tier 1 porter, the Betsy, and she's a great little engine, but I didn't want to keep her in the yard, so I want her to be my yard job in the future. And I want to buy the second porter. I haven't owned that one yet, and so I'm kind of curious. And since the log train here and eventually the cordwood train, so this is where the log docks are, and then over here, this is where cordwood gets loaded. And I built a track over to it, but we're not going to use it just quite yet. So we will eventually, and at that point in time, we might think about looping this track all the way around, or we'll come in here, shove one set of cars in, and go load the others, and then come in and load these ones, knuckle up, and go. We'll get there eventually. But right now, we're actually ready to rock out of here. And so let's do this one from the cab, shall we? So let's go ahead and throw some planks on the fire here. Pew, pew, pew. Close that up, and I'll show you how the cab controls work. These are actually really cool. So we've got basically 3 things. This is our brake all the way on the right. So this is our reverser. Our reverser is basically a gear shift. So just determines what direction the train's going to go, forward or reverse, or right now it should be in set and center like that. So brake forward is brake set and centered, so technically this train probably couldn't go anywhere very easily. And this right here, this is our throttle, this is our regulator. And like I said, I don't know that much about steam engines, but this is basically what makes us go. So, and then we have our pressure gauge here. We have, what else do we have in Betsy here? I think we have a water gauge, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yeah, we have a water gauge, and there's a little bit of water. We got about half tank left in here, so we're pretty good. This over here is our cylinder cock, and what that does is basically it allows steam out of the cylinder. You want to open that up. That's the first thing you want to do when you're about to move. And so that's what we're going to do here. So there we go. Open that up, then set your reverser back, and then kick off your brake. And then since we're at a platform, we got to give the boys a little bit of bell and open her up. And here we go. And we're off. So about 30, maybe a little bit higher to start, but after that 30 is good, because we come over this little hump right here, and then we got this little roller coaster ride down here. And this is why I want to replace Betsy, because this is absolutely terrified. So if you run a locomotive like this, you would not be sitting in here like this. You'd be way hunkered over in that corner over here, hiding on the side, because this is like the best way to become Railburger I think I've ever seen. So anyway, we're at the bottom of the hill, so I like to open her up a little bit. So that kind of ease through this curve right here and then into the flat territory ahead of us. And so let's just go ahead and open that up. I usually do it about 30. So I think all the locomotives in this game, except for the geared ones, so there's 2 geared locomotives that actually run slower, but everything else I think is capped at 15 miles an hour. And so if you've got it opened all the way up, you can't catch it if you fall off, which is terrifying. So, and then you're guaranteed a nice big gnarly derailment when you do actually catch up to your train. So, which is kind of fun, but also at the same point in time not. So you got to be careful when you're actually operating the cab here, because you don't want to get too zealous about getting outside of your train. But I don't have to worry about it too much right now because we're not doing any switching. I know my switches are already lined and locked because there's nobody else on my railroad who would be around here to mess with my switches. And so usually at the top of the hill here we see the mill. Let's let the boys know we're coming. And in we go. And usually this one I just kind of coasted in here because I put a little extra time into building the track. And so if you do that, if you put a little bit extra time into building your track, you can run much smoother trains. So now I get it. It's okay. It's your railroad. You build it the way that you want to. But at the same point in time, I haven't had too many derailments, knock on wood, just quite yet. And so, or at least not due to track. Due to idiocy on my part, yeah, we've had plenty of those. Anyway, here we go. Brake set and centered. So let's give it a toot. And let's drop off some logs here, shall we? So, yeah. Alright, did I get them all? I got them all. Check that out. Alright, well that'll conclude our very first ride-along with the log local here, using Betsy, and consists of 4 flatbeds. And I hope you enjoyed not just the tour, but a little bit of the commentary on that one. In the future, we'll do more of these. We'll do at least one for every train we run. But at the same point in time, we'll also have some maybe op sessions where we'll do several runs. I'm not going to bore you with that here tonight. So since I've got a lot of logs to go get, and all we're going to be doing is doing exactly what we just did. And so if you need some more of that, feel free to start the video over again. Just kidding. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. So I hope you enjoy. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care now. Bye.